Are you ready to explore the darkest corners of Denmark? From medieval castles to ancient churches, Denmark is home to some of the most terrifying and haunted locations in Europe. In this video, we'll take you on a spine-chilling journey to the top 15 haunted places in Denmark, where ghostly encounters, eerie whispers, and unsettling legends await. Brace yourself for chilling stories that will make you question what lies in the shadows. 1. Dragsholm Castle. In the quiet countryside of Zealand lies Dragsholm Castle, a fortress that has stood for centuries. But its ancient walls do more than echo with history. They tremble with the restless souls of the dead. They say the White Lady still roams the halls. Once a noblewoman, her life ended tragically when her father discovered her forbidden love affair. Bricked alive within the castle walls, her muffled cries fell on deaf ears. Centuries later, during renovations, her skeleton was found, still in her tattered white dress. Visitors report sudden chills and glimpses of a ghostly figure gliding silently down the corridors. But she is not alone. The spirit of the Earl of Bothwell, a prisoner of Dragsholm's dungeons, remains eternally bound here. His tortured groans echo through the lower chambers, where shadows flicker, though no light shines. Some guests have fled their rooms, terrified by whispers in the dark and unseen hands pulling at their sheets. Dragsholm Castle may be a historical gem, but for those who dare visit, it is a haunted prison where the past refuses to rest. 2. Vard Castle. Deep in North Jutland, surrounded by moats and brooding trees, lies Vard Castle, a place as beautiful as it is cursed. Its towering walls whisper tales of greed, death, and a spirit doomed to wander for eternity. The most infamous ghost is Ingeborg Skeel, the last tyrannical owner of the castle. Known for her cruelty, she betrayed and murdered builders to ensure no one else could claim her grand estate. Her wicked deeds condemned her spirit to haunt the castle forever. Visitors have described chilling encounters, a shadowy figure standing at windows, icy drafts sweeping through locked rooms, and footsteps echoing where no living soul walks. Legend has it that on stormy nights, Ingeborg's ghost emerges, her hollow eyes staring through the darkness. Some claim they've heard her mournful cries drifting across the grounds, a lament for the peace she can never have. But it's not just Ingeborg. Other restless spirits linger, their faint whispers brushing against the ears of those who dare to stay after nightfall. Vard Castle is more than an architectural marvel. It's a chilling monument to the consequences of greed and betrayal. Few leave its halls without feeling a presence they cannot explain. 3. The Cisterns in Copenhagen. Beneath the bustling streets of Copenhagen lies a world of darkness and shadows, the ancient cisterns. Once a vast underground reservoir for the city's water, it now sits empty, a damp and eerie labyrinth, untouched by time. Visitors who dare enter speak of a suffocating silence, broken only by the faint drip of unseen water and the echo of footsteps that do not belong to them. It's said the cisterns are haunted by the spirits of those who once toiled in its depths. Workers who met their demise in the damp tunnels now roam, their faint whispers heard in the cold, black void. Some tourists report sudden drops in temperature, feeling icy hands brush against their skin, while others see shadowy figures flitting just beyond the reach of their flashlight beams. A legend tells of a lost worker whose ghost can be heard calling for help, his voice distorted and faint, as though carried through the water. No matter how far you walk, the darkness seems alive, wrapping itself around you like a predator waiting to strike. The cisterns are no ordinary cavern. They are a gateway to the unknown, a place where reality and the supernatural blur. 4. Samso Labyrinth. On the small island of Samso, a twisted maze of trees and winding paths, known as the Samso Labyrinth, hides a dark secret. Surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, this eerie labyrinth is rumored to trap the souls of those who wander too far within its twisting corridors. Legends say the labyrinth was constructed centuries ago by an ancient order who sought to imprison dark spirits, but something went terribly wrong. Visitors often report an unsettling sensation of being followed, with no clear way out. Whispers float through the air, as if someone, or something, lurks just beyond sight. Some claim to hear footsteps echoing their own, only to turn around and find no one there. The feeling of being watched is constant, and many travelers confess to a deep sense of dread, unable to shake the feeling that something malevolent is just waiting to reveal itself. As dusk falls, the labyrinth seems to take on a life of its own. The wind carries strange noises, and shadows twist unnaturally, as though the very trees are conspiring to keep you lost forever. Some say the spirits of those who were trapped in the maze in centuries past still roam, unable to escape. If you find yourself wandering here, be careful. There's no telling whether you'll ever find your way out. 5. Abandoned theme park in Estrup. Nestled in the quiet town of Estrup, Denmark, lies an abandoned theme park, a ghostly relic of joy now overtaken by decay. What was once a place of laughter and excitement is now a sprawling wasteland where time seems to have stood still. Rusting rides and crumbling structures litter the grounds, and the echo of laughter has long since faded. But the silence is not peaceful. It's suffocating, as if the park's dark past refuses to let go. Visitors who venture into the park speak of an overwhelming feeling of unease. The once vibrant carousel now spins slowly in the wind, its lights flickering intermittently as though powered by something otherworldly. Shadows stretch unnaturally, and distant whispers seem to float through the air, just out of reach. Some claim to have heard faint giggles and the sound of footsteps following them, though no one else is around. Others say they've felt cold hands brushing against their skin as they explore the deserted grounds. The park's dark history adds to the unease. Rumors persist of accidents and tragic events that occurred on the rides before the park was closed. Whether it's the restless spirits of those who perished here, or something far darker, one thing is certain. The abandoned theme park in Estrup is a place where the past never truly leaves. 6. Ribe Cathedral. Ribe, Denmark's oldest town, is home to the Ribe Cathedral, a stunning Gothic masterpiece that stands as a silent witness to centuries of history. But beneath its towering spires and grand architecture, the cathedral holds a much darker secret, a restless energy that haunts its ancient walls. The cathedral's connection to Denmark's infamous witch trials has woven a sinister thread into its history. During the 17th century, women accused of witchcraft were brought to the cathedral, where they were sentenced to death by burning. It is said their spirits never left, bound to the very place where they met their cruel end. The most famous among these is Maren Splides, a woman accused of witchcraft and executed in 1641. Her vengeful spirit is believed to still linger in the cathedral's dark corners. Those brave enough to visit Ribe Cathedral after nightfall report hearing strange whispers and the sound of footsteps following them in the shadows. Some claim to see ghostly figures drifting between the pews, while others describe sudden, unexplained cold spots that send chills down their spines. The sense of being watched is overwhelming, as if the spirits of the past are never far from the living. Ribe Cathedral is not just a place of worship. It's a chilling reminder of a darker chapter in history, where the echoes of the past refuse to fade into the night. 7. Egeskov Castle. Set against the serene backdrop of Funen, Egeskov Castle is an imposing structure with a dark and sinister reputation. Though its majestic appearance and sprawling grounds are picturesque, the castle's history is steeped in tragedy, and it is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of its past inhabitants. The most well-known specter is the Lady in White, who is said to wander the halls in the dead of night. Her identity is unclear, but some stories link her to the tragic fate of a former mistress who was abandoned by her lover within the castle. Her ghost is often seen in the castle's towers, or gazing out the windows, staring into the distance with an expression of sorrow and longing. Visitors to Egeskov Castle frequently report strange occurrences. Some hear the soft rustling of fabric, like someone walking past, but upon turning around, no one is there. Others have experienced the sensation of being touched by invisible hands, or caught glimpses of figures moving through the halls in the corner of their eyes. Despite the peaceful surroundings, Egeskov Castle is a place where the past refuses to rest, and the spirits trapped within its walls continue to haunt those who dare to enter. The echoes of lost love, betrayal, and sorrow linger, waiting to be discovered by anyone brave enough to seek them. 8. Egeskov Castle, Funen. Egeskov Castle, a stunning Renaissance-era fortress perched on a small island in Funen, is not only famous for its impeccable beauty and expansive gardens, but also for the chilling hauntings said to occur within its ancient walls. The castle, built in 1554, is home to several dark stories, with the most well-known being that of a vengeful spirit known as the Lady in Black. The tale begins with the tragic death of a woman who was betrayed by her lover, a nobleman who once resided at Egeskov. Heartbroken and furious, she vowed never to leave the castle until her revenge was fulfilled. To this day, visitors report seeing a figure dressed in black moving through the castle's corridors, especially in the dark, quiet hours of the evening. Others have claimed to feel cold gusts of air brushing against their skin, as if someone, or something, was walking past them unseen. In addition to the Lady in Black, there are other unexplained phenomena: whispers in the halls, flickering lights, and strange cold spots that defy logic. Staff and guests alike have felt a heavy presence, as if something unseen is watching, waiting. Egeskov Castle is not just a historical treasure. It's a place where the past lingers, its spirits demanding to be heard. Kronborg Castle, Elsinore. Kronborg Castle, perched on the edge of the Öresund Strait in Elsinore, is best known as the setting for Shakespeare's Hamlet. However, beneath its literary fame lies a dark and unsettling history. The castle has long been rumored to harbor the restless spirits of those who perished within its cold stone walls. The most prominent ghost associated with Kronborg is that of Holger Danske, a legendary Danish hero who, according to myth, rests within the castle, awaiting the moment when Denmark is in dire need of him. Though his ghost has reportedly not been seen for years, some claim to hear his heavy footsteps or catch glimpses of his figure in the castle's dimly lit hallways. In addition to Holger Danske, Kronborg is also said to be haunted by the ghost of a former king and by the souls of prisoners who were executed within its dungeons. Visitors have reported hearing eerie sounds, clanking chains, distant screams, and whispers coming from the castle's dark, forgotten chambers. Many claim to feel a chilling presence, especially in the castle's cellars and the grand halls, as if the spirits of those who suffered here have never truly left. Kronborg is not just a historical landmark. It is a haunting reminder that even the grandest castles cannot escape the shadows of the past. 10. Funen Village. Funen. Nestled in the charming countryside of Funen, the Funen Village is an open-air museum that transports visitors back to the 19th century, showcasing the traditional life of Denmark. While the village offers a picturesque glimpse into the past, it is also home to one of the most unnerving haunts in Denmark. Local legends speak of the spirit of a young woman, the bride of Funen, who is said to wander the village in her wedding dress. Her tragic tale dates back to a botched wedding, where she was abandoned by her groom on the night of their marriage. In her despair, she took her own life, and now her ghost is said to appear on foggy evenings, gliding silently among the old cottages and paths, her white dress trailing behind her. Visitors report seeing her figure in the windows of the village's restored buildings, or hearing her sobs in the stillness of the night. Some have even described feeling a sudden chill in the air, or an eerie sense of melancholy when near the village's church. In addition to the bride's ghost, other sightings include shadowy figures moving through the trees and unexplained footsteps echoing along the cobblestone paths. Though it is a place of cultural significance, Funen Village is also a gateway to the supernatural, where the restless souls of the past refuse to stay buried. 11. The Medical Museum in Copenhagen. ****. The Medical Museum in Copenhagen is one of the most chilling places in Denmark, not only for its morbid collection of medical history, but also for the strange occurrences and ghostly encounters that are said to haunt its walls. Housed in a historic building that was once part of a mental asylum, the museum is filled with exhibits that range from ancient surgical tools to preserved body parts, each telling the grim story of medicine's darker past. Many visitors report an unsettling feeling as they walk through the dimly lit halls, with some claiming to hear whispers or the faint sound of footsteps when no one else is around. The most famous haunt is said to be the spirit of a former patient, a woman who died tragically in the asylum under mysterious circumstances. Her ghost is believed to haunt the museum, often appearing as a shadowy figure in the corners of rooms or standing in front of the glass displays, staring vacantly into the distance. Others have described feelings of coldness that seem to materialize out of nowhere, especially in the sections of the museum dealing with more controversial aspects of medical history, such as lobotomies and gruesome experiments. Some have even seen objects move or shift on their own, further adding to the eerie atmosphere. The combination of the museum's disturbing history and its haunting tales make it a place where the past refuses to be forgotten, and where the spirits of those who suffered here continue to make their presence felt. 12. The Witch Hunt Museum, Ribe. Located in the historic town of Ribe, Denmark, the Witch Hunt Museum is a chilling reminder of the dark history of witch trials that plagued the region during the 16th and 17th centuries. The museum sits in the heart of the old town, in a building that once housed a courthouse where women accused of witchcraft were tried and sentenced to death. The haunting tales surrounding the museum revolve around the tragic fates of the women who were subjected to the brutal trials. Many were accused of witchcraft, often with little to no evidence, and were condemned to die in horrific ways. One of the most prominent spirits believed to haunt the museum is that of Maren Spleeds, a woman who was convicted of witchcraft and executed in 1641. Her ghost is said to roam the museum, particularly around the courtroom exhibits where her trial was held. Witnesses have reported feeling cold spots in these areas and hearing whispers, as though she is still seeking justice for her untimely death. Other visitors claim to see shadowy figures moving through the old building, with some even experiencing sudden, unexplained drops in temperature. The sense of unease is heightened in the quiet, dimly lit rooms, where the echoes of the past seem to linger. The Witch Hunt Museum is not just a place to learn about the history of witch trials. It's a place where the spirits of the past refuse to rest, their stories waiting to be heard. 13. Kronborg Castle, Southern Jutland. Kronborg Castle, located in southern Jutland, Denmark, is a striking example of Renaissance architecture, but it is also infamous for its chilling ghost stories. The castle's long history, dating back to the 12th century, is marked by wars, royal intrigue, and tragic deaths, all of which have contributed to the unsettling atmosphere that surrounds the castle today. One of the most notable apparitions is that of a former lord, Count Hans the Younger. Legend has it that after a particularly brutal conflict, the Count was betrayed and brutally murdered within the castle's walls. His ghost is said to haunt the main tower, where visitors report hearing the sound of footsteps and muffled whispers echoing through the empty halls. Some even claim to see the figure of a man in old-fashioned attire pacing the castle grounds at night. Another well-known specter is that of a woman believed to be the wife of a nobleman who died under mysterious circumstances. She is said to appear in the castle's grand ballroom, dressed in a flowing gown, her face obscured by a veil. Visitors have reported a sense of sadness and unease when near the ballroom, as though the lady's tragic fate still lingers in the air. With its haunted history and the chilling tales of restless spirits, Kronborg Castle stands as one of Denmark's most eerie and atmospheric locations, where the line between history and the supernatural often seems to blur. 14. Gamle Estrup Manor, Djursland. Gamle Estrup Manor, located in Djursland, Denmark, is not only renowned for its stunning Renaissance architecture, but also for the dark and eerie stories that have haunted the estate for centuries. The manor's history dates back to the 16th century, and it is filled with the shadows of noble families, tragic deaths, and unresolved mysteries. One of the most well-known tales associated with Gamle Estrup is that of the Lady in Black, a mysterious figure said to wander the manor's halls. She is believed to be the ghost of a woman who was unjustly imprisoned within the manor's walls, a victim of a cruel and heartless lord. Her spirit is said to be bound to the estate, unable to rest until her tragic tale is acknowledged. Visitors often report seeing her figure in the dark corners of the manor, or feeling a sudden drop in temperature when near the grand staircase. Another popular haunting at Gamle Estrup involves unexplained noises, strange whispers, the sound of footsteps echoing through empty rooms, and doors that creak open or slam shut with no one around. Some guests have even reported seeing objects shift position or hearing faint voices calling out from the shadows. The manor's sense of foreboding is heightened by its rich yet unsettling history. Gamle Estrup remains one of Denmark's most notorious haunted locations, where the echoes of the past refuse to fade. 15. Bornholm Runeker, Bornholm Island. The island of Bornholm, located in the Baltic Sea, is home to a collection of round churches, or Runeker, which are among the most unique and mysterious structures in Denmark. These medieval churches, built between the 11th and 12th centuries, are not only architecturally fascinating, but are also steeped in eerie legends and ghostly tales. One of the most chilling stories comes from the church at Østerlars, the largest of Bornholm's round churches. According to local legend, the church was built as a fortress to protect the villagers from Viking invasions. The ghost of a Viking warrior is said to haunt the church, appearing as a shadowy figure draped in armor. Those who have visited Østerlars report feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched, with some even claiming to hear the sound of footsteps following them through the church's stone corridors. Other Runeker, such as those at Nyker and Nilars, are rumored to be haunted by the spirits of medieval peasants who were either buried in the churchyard or executed within the church's walls. Visitors to these sites often describe a heavy, oppressive atmosphere with strange cold spots, whispers, and fleeting glimpses of figures in the corners of their eyes. The Rundkirker of Bornholm are not just architectural wonders. They are a living connection to the island's haunted past, where the spirits of warriors and villagers continue to walk among the living. There you have it, 15 of Denmark's most haunted locations, each steeped in mystery and darkness. Whether it's restless spirits or unexplainable phenomena, these sites will leave you questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. Have you ever visited one of these haunted spots? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more terrifying tales from around the world.